Good to go? Good to go? All right. Welcome everyone to the December 7th Board of Selectmen's meeting. Would everyone please stand and join me for Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I want to take a couple things out of order, but I do want to do the acknowledgments first. This is where we show respect to the passings in the town of Milton and around, and we also celebrate the birthdays of that'd be a long list, of employees and volunteers in the town of Milton. And this month, wow, I'm doing really good in that this year. This month we have quite a list of birthdays. We have Karen Brown from Recreation Department, Chief Kraus, Dave Silbernagel, Thomas Hebert, Butch Nason, Christopher Stevens from the Fire Department, Nick Block from the Fire Department, Dakota Kastner from the Fire Department, Justin Bellin from the Fire Department, Claudine Burnham from the Rec Department, Tom Magoon from the Fire Department, and Robert Gay from the Highway Department. I'd like to wish all those individuals a happy birthday, thank them for their service to the town of Milton, the townspeople of Milton. And as far as the passings, we're fortunate we don't have any passings here in Milton, but I would like to take a moment. Thank you. Was that?
And the Arizona.
In Arizona.
In Colorado.
Colorado too? Was that?
Colorado Springs.
I didn't hear that one.
That was the week before.
Oh, I didn't hear. Oh, wow. Those things are happening way too frequent, and it's a scary thought. So, I don't know what the answer is to that, but somehow someone's got to find an answer. All right, we're going to take things, like I said, a little out of order. We have David Blozer, Regal Scout project at Milton Mills Library. I'm going to ask you to go up first, just so you can have another meeting to make. And if you want to just kind of give us a synopsis, I know you met with Mr. Catwick and Mr. Smith, and basically you're just looking for our approval, so just let us know where we are with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Last week on Tuesday, I met with Mr. Smith and Mr. Catwick to discuss my project for the Milton Mills Library.
Yep.
I'd like to refinish the floor by sanding it, taking up the carpets in the corners, and then putting down polyurethane and refinishing the floor.
Sure.
I don't plan to take up any panels of the wood of the floor.
Right.
I'd like to refinish it. I met with Mr. Catwick and Mr. Smith to discuss some details and just work out what we were thinking and our differences and what we thought about the project. I came here tonight to hopefully get approval
Yep.
from the town.
And I was at the meeting, you got a passing blessing from both of them, if I remember correctly, and next you had to go back to the scouts to present the project.
Yes,
So,
after.
after we get this.
Yeah,
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, first and
Okay.
foremost, I want to thank John Catwick and Pat for taking David under their wings for this project. They're both huge assets to the town of Milton, of course John knows. So I do appreciate you guys for helping David move this project forward. So without further ado, I will make a motion to give David Blozer our permission to redo the library floor, the top floor.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Did he need a letter now?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. And for your Eagle Scouts, we get a letter from the town stating,
Thank you.
so you have that for.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay, all right. Less littering, by the way. Up next, like I said, we're gonna take one more thing out of order, is Pat Smith, temporary agency discussion. As, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, not aware of it, we are having a very, very tough time trying to find truck drivers. And we're down, what, 3 men now, Pat?
3, yes.
3, down 3, so we got new trucks, we don't have drivers. So,
So,
go
first
with-
off, I'd like to introduce Bruce Belgard. He is account manager for Centerline.
Mhm.
They are a temporary agency for CDL drivers.
Okay,
The Board of Selectmen did ask me at one time to look into different
Yep.
avenues to try to get drivers for the department. I contacted Bruce. We met before the meeting. We've had a little bit of discussion.
Mhm.
I know that probably the board was gonna have some questions, and he's just here to give you an overview of what
Yep.
his company does,
okay,
and to answer any questions that you may have. And this is just an opportunity to decide if you wanna pursue a temporary agency or you wanna try to do something else. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Bruce, and he can
Yep.
give you
Thanks for taking the time to see me.
oh, thanks for coming in.
There's some pamphlets, there's a brochure in there. There's an example of our corporate agreement as well as a pricing addendum.
Okay,
It's not filled in yet. It's to be determined what the price will be. We base it on what the driver pay is.
okay,
We find that one of the meet those requirements is getting tougher by the day. A lot of it goes to lack of new people going into the field. We were discussing it today. I was at a Maine Motor Transport Association event to discuss this issue. What should have been about 30 people turned out to be about 150 people, all with the same issue.
Yeah.
And someone put it really well that it stuck in my mind that you can't drive a CDL truck most companies won't hire until you have 1 year experience. Now you're 22. People who are gonna take that path in life generally are gonna take it out of high school. They're gonna
Right.
not be college bound, they're gonna be tech bound. And if they have to wait till they're 22, they're already on a different life path. They're in retail or they're a mechanic, they're doing something different. So there's just a lot of reasons why
Mhm.
the industry as a whole, but what we bring to you, let me state that, what we attempt to bring to you is a fully vetted, qualified CDL driver. Background checks are done, drug screen's done, they're ready to be hired. For an hourly fee, we provide the driver to you. We handle everything on the driver. They're our employee, they're simply reporting to work for you folks. We cover all of their insurances.
I'm not,
Our mainstay of business is freight handling,
mhm,
Class
Right.
A drivers.
right,
What we bring to the table for any CDL driver, though, is a large network to go out and look for more drivers. There's no assurance we're gonna be able to find one. Depends on pay rate, it depends on what's available in the market, this area.
mhm,
What we do have is a full-time recruiter. His job every day is to pound the ads, to pound the different avenues we have to try and find drivers and see if we can bring a candidate up. that might be qualified, that might be able to work. And speaking with Pat, we have some flexibility, you know, depending on experience, you know, can you train them, is it, you know, so there's some
Mhm.
flexibility there, and that's what we try and work together on, is what is the right thing, what will work. You know, do we find an older retired guy that has his Class B and is willing to do this kind of work, or may have done it? You know,
Right.
We get, I wouldn't say about 40 to 50 candidates throughout this region, not just in this area.
Right.
I cover northern Mass and
I mean, and that's a big one, plow experience, because you're out there and drive middle of the night and you can't see 20 feet in front of you sometimes, I'm sure. I've never been in it myself, not sure I want to. But, so what, I know you said you take care of all the comps, all the insurances. What are your pricing ranges roughly?
I would,
Nothing gonna hold you to, just some
No.
kind of good idea.
again, it depends on what we finally decide on as the driver pay rate. I'm gonna estimate it's gonna be somewhere between $17 and $18 an hour is what it would take to find a driver that I would say is qualified to do the work. Again, may need a little training, but I'm not gonna bring someone 1 year license, you know, that has never driven a dump truck.
Right.
You know, I may not have a guy who's driven some up.
Yeah, well, we'll not put them in, but they can put in, yes.
Okay, I didn't know if that was your guys up on
No,
that.
no.
But I know there's gotta be that flexibility, and, what we would do is explain it to the driver, this is the job. And they can accept it or decline it, and that's one of the reasons it could be difficult to fill.
So you're saying this driver, would be making $17 or $18 an hour, plus your fees?
What we do is a markup on the driver pay. So our markup is 1.76. If it turns out that we have to be $18 an hour, you're probably talking about 32. I haven't dug deep into this market up here yet.
Mhm.
I'm talking to Pat, and he says that it might be a little less in here, you know, but we might have to draw a candidate out of an area that pays more,
Right.
like Portsmouth, or
Right.
even Portland. Some guys are willing to drive, you know. We're gonna look all throughout the area. But because we don't have an extensive benefits package, we do offer holiday pay, we do offer insurance, and we have things we offer. We have some flexibility, but in general, in order to attract a person to do these flexible type jobs, because we have some projects where, jobs where one day they might be driving a straight truck, not touching anything, the next day they're gonna make 30 stops and deliver 30 stops, so.
Right.
And then you have variances like this where if you one thing I'll point out, in there you will see some pricing with regards to converting a driver. That's one thing we can do, is bring a driver to you, and if you decide you would like to hire them, there's a process.
Okay.
Those pricings there are high. That is more directed, if you read it, towards someone stealing our driver. We bring you the candidate, we like them, then you say, why don't you quit working for me?
Right, yeah.
We catch people doing that,
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's gotta be a level of trust there, you
Yeah,
know, and,
and we have another addendum similar to the pricing addendum that addresses the buyout.
Mhm.
We come to terms on what the buyout would be, and the rule of thumb is it drops over time.
Okay.
The longer you use the driver, the less the buyout is up.
oh, okay, gotcha. All right,
Now, something to keep in mind also, as long as the driver works for us, we're completely responsible for the driver. We don't
if it
cover-
was, okay, so,
Depending on the situation, we have helped, I guess
Yeah.
is one way to say it. it depends on the situation. The way we like to explain it would be the same as if you're a guy did.
Mhm.
You know, the responsibility for the vehicle falls on you, the
Right.
responsibility for the driver falls on us. If the driver's in an accident, gets injured, the comp falls on us, if it's a comp claim. So the comp wouldn't hit you.
Okay. Well, it's something we gotta look over, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's something, I mean, because we have, how long have we been looking now, Pat? Pretty much all.
Driver from us,
Mhm.
it's simply an avenue for you to have at your disposal where we can, if we have a great candidate pop up, you can meet them, road test them,
Mhm.
you know, and if you don't like them, of course, you're not obligated anyway.
Right. Which just, that prompted me to another question. If we were to enter into this agreement,
Mhm.
and we do get a candidate from you and he drives for us, and it doesn't work out,
Yep.
is there any penalty if
No.
we just,
That's something we actually discussed today, is that you have slower times of the year where you might not even need a driver, you would.
I think that if to begin with, then if we had enough, you know, if we were into cleanup and we needed another driver for cleanup, then yeah, it can turn into more than that. But the other thing I think we have to remember is that we're gonna pay their hourly rate. Once we go past 40, we're gonna pay that hourly rate at probably time and a half. And, that's what I wanna try to avoid, really.
okay, yep,
Like, you know,
good.
I don't wa- I know we may end up, if we had a week with 60 hours of overtime, which you have seen that before, you're gonna have a driver there that if he just plows the whole 60 hours in cleanup, he'll have 40 hours plus 20 hours of overtime.
Something
And
to
this-
keep in mind as well, in the pricing addendum, you're gonna see the overtime after 8, and then you're gonna see time and a half the rate. This is the largest blue-collar staffing agency in the country. About $2.6 billion.
Okay.
Strictly, we don't get into admin, we don't get into medical, we do just labor, construction, drivers, blue-collar. So there's flexibility within that to work with you as a municipality, you know, that it can on you guys, you know, to
Right.
stay in budget. and-
Right, right. I mean, certainly is. I mean, the one appealing thing of his one is the, you know, the comp and the insurances that we don't. That's just frustrating.
I know that's something we discussed today, that there is, I can work with that number to get that overtime number down. Instead
Okay.
of doing a 1.5 markup, maybe 1.42, or, you know.
Right, right.
Flexibility there.
And I think the fact that Pat, this, to start, wants to use this just for plowing
Mhm.
is a benefit, is a help, because that'll help keep that down as well, in times we don't need them. All right, we'll look it over.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
Let me know if you have any questions.
All right, I will, I'm gonna open it up to the public, see if they have any questions. If they're the ones, John?
My name is John Kellogg. I only have one question, and the question I have is, what about holiday pay?
Holiday pay is no different, we don't have any additional holiday pay. We take care of that, we
Okay.
do offer holiday pay to our drivers, but it's not anything they're offering.
Okay. Thank you.
look around, and if something comes up, let Pat know.
Sure, appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, up next on the agenda, we have a swearing in of a new officer, Officer Hebert.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, David.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So, as you guys just heard, Pat's having some issues filling some positions. I know exactly what Pat's going through because 3 years ago when I took over as chief here in the town, we were down 3 officers at that time. Unfortunately, one of those officers that we did lose, we lost 2 experienced officers that year. I had a very hard time of filling them. My other officers can attest, and so can their spouses, that they didn't get to see their spouses very often because they were working a lot of hours, as Pat's guys are running into right now. We have the benefit of being able to hire one of those officers back, so we're getting not only an experienced officer, but someone who knows our community very well. We have that benefit to be able to do that now and look for experienced officers instead of solely looking at inexperienced officers, spending a lot of money and time and sending them to the academy. Officer Hebert comes back to us with 2 years of experience in 2 other different types of agencies, similar, one kind of similar to Milton, one not even close to Milton, in a very large city compared to Milton. Excuse me. So we're getting that benefit from Officer Hebert. Many of you will already know Officer Hebert. He was in town for about 1.5 years, and he's a local boy, so that's a very good thing too. He's got most of his family here, and so I'll have you swear him in, Mr. Chairman, and then
Raise your right hand. According
Agreeably to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire,
of the constitutional laws of the state of New Hampshire.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome aboard. Welcome back.
you need if you want. And the badge on front. This is the one time you get to stick him for real.
We don't want to hear you screaming if she misses either.
Look, you've been pinned.
Welcome back, Officer. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Congratulations, my son.
Okay, up next on the agenda, we have a motion to accept the DWI grant.
The grant is few patrol. Probably so sign there. And print and title here.
So would Emperor work?
If you wanted to write emperor, I guess it would. So, what's gonna have to happen is, I'm gonna sign it here, put my title there, and then I'm gonna have to initial all of these.
Yep.
Then I'll give them to Liz, so you can initial them there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have Michelle notarize.
Notarized, okay. Sounds good, thank you. You got one more thing, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, up next also with Chief Kraus. And this
We hired Graham Stiles to do the work from the leakage that came from winter.
Right.
While he was there doing the work, we asked him to take a look at the attic to try to address the problem that caused the ice dams
Right.
and the leakage. And he told us right away that the ventilation in the attic wasn't correct. So we had him get us a quote. He came back with this quote. Actually, the chief and I did meet with Dr. Energy when they came.
Right.
He explained a few things about the ceiling not being insulated correctly and some different things. I'm not, I'm not a builder, so I don't know a lot of the technology that he was talking about. But anyway, there's some work that needed to be done in order to make the temperature in the attic space equal to the outside temperature, so we wouldn't get ice damage. So he listed this out. After I had got this and saw the price on this, I contacted Graham again. I asked him if he could get me 2 or 3 more
Okay.
quotes. He went out to get more quotes, and nobody would come out.
Really?
This is the only quote, so we attempted to get 3.
Okay.
All right? And we used Graham because he was our contractor, so we used him to go,
Right, he's familiar with it, yeah.
right, to
Yeah.
get the quotes, because he did the work and he knew what was going on. So, now at this point, we need to do something with the building, because if we don't fix this ventilation issue, situation. Through the course of the winter, and there was times up there that the attic was 50 degrees. So you can see how much heat is being lost up through
Right.
the ceiling into the attic.
The other issue we have already is, if you come up, the cold frost days that we're getting frost on the attic, on the roof,
Yeah.
the shingles outside, if you drive in the morning before the sun even comes up, you can see the lines of heat on the roof where there's separation, where it's heating up the roof enough that it's doing frost lines. So it's already to the point, and we haven't had a cold winter so far or so at this point, but it's already gonna be bad enough that the first snow we get, we're gonna have the water push back and we're gonna have the freezing issues.
Okay. Where we got the money for this?
Well,
It's $24,000 and yeah.
Spend a large amount
Go
of
out
money,
and
this
spend
is
a lot of money to
yeah.
fix this.
This will be the 3rd time that we spent a large amount of money to do work on a building that's 7 years old. So if we're gonna have that building be around for an extended period of time, which that's my expectation, I'm guessing that's the expectation of the
Oh, it
residents.
is, yeah.
Then we need to fix it now, because I'm guessing the insurance company's not gonna keep fixing what they already know, what they've already fixed once, and we have the same issue. We call them again next year that say, hey, you gotta come fix these rooms, these walls, and this because of this issue. Insurance company at some point is gonna tell us no.
Right. you know, same as we did with your loader, I mean, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there from different places. And so we can look at that, then we could address it.
I think we can probably, I don't know exactly how much, obviously, at this point, what I'm gonna have at the end of the year, but I think we can take it out, we could put it into my miscellaneous line, and we're a bottom line budget anyways. So we can put it in my miscellaneous line, and I just make sure that my budget doesn't go over this year.
I don't think he has to carry the full burden.
No,
I mean,
no.
I have 10,000 in maintenance. I don't know what I'm gonna use between now and the end of the year, but I have, the last I looked, at the end of November, was 10.
Okay. Good, I was going-
This as we move forward with this.
Let's have a motion.
I mean, it'd be nice to, we'll figure out where the money's gonna come.
So just put $14,000 in out of my miscellaneous line, and then you have $10,000, right? So there's the $24,000 right there.
That's all my money though.
Well, yeah,
Well,
well,
and that's exactly
we're,
what
go- we're gonna take some out of unanticipated funds as well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
take 5 out of unanticipated
Oh,
funds
yeah,
and 5
5
out. Anyway,
Correct.
so bottom line,
Exactly.
we're not gonna have an issue,
Right,
and I don't expect to go over the
Huh?
bottom line.
Position vacancies will help with that.
yep, yep.
All right, motion, as said, where the money is gonna come out of, and to move forward with, the Dr. Energy Savers, to fix the police station attic.
In the amount of
The amount of
$24,430, I got $36.
$24,437.
I mean, I got
So
36,
take
but,
14,400 and, was it $70?
it's 24,437, they say there, but, so,
14,437 out of my miscellaneous line, 5 out of Pat's maintenance line, and 5 out of town administration's
Unanticipated.
unanticipated.
Into the
Done is we roof rake 3 feet up. The problem now is when we roof rake 3 feet up, that's where the ice dam now starts. So the ice dam is pushing the water under the shingles.
Water is coming through the roof, 6 feet up, 7 feet up, or 8 feet up, or 9 feet up.
Yeah, it's
How
pushing through
much
the
does
shingles.
a complete metal roof on top of the existing roof cost?
I don't know that.
If that were done, you would have an impermeable surface that water would slide off, and insulation to fix the interior problem could come in next year's budget. Unless, of course, a complete metal roof costs $25,000, and I just spent you an additional $500.
I bet it's not gonna be far off from it.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I
it's-
bet-
Pretty good sized building. I don't know what square footage is, but it was, what, 5 years ago we did the roof? Was it 5?
No, it was 2012.
2012, and it was like almost 15,000 then.
For 35
Just shingles, yeah. So you're
Probably
gonna,
25,000 if we understand.
yeah, 'cause you got with the
you're gonna contain the heat.
So, might help balance it out over the long term.
Well, we got a motion, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Hopefully this is the last year we gotta talk about that.
Your hope is the same as mine, I don't wanna keep having to have the residents pay for a building
Oh, I
to
know.
fix something that's 7 years old.
I agree.
I mean,
That's,
As you know, we've been doing work to this building since we got it,
I mean,
so it's unfortunate, but
again, the electronics,
yeah,
so that's another thing, so.
yeah, we've been pretty lucky on that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Next up, we have John Tucker from Evergreen Valley Snowmobile Club.
Good evening, board. I'm John Tucker, Evergreen Valley Snowmobile Club. This is my annual, come to this board to ask permission to park our trailers on the respective firehouse lot. Plow it and park them there for this year, for the 2015-16 season.
Okay. Make a motion?
Yeah, no.
Bob would
You-
Get it.
bring that in when he comes in, so.
That'd be great.
Yeah, just have to have them file in case something happens.
Sure.
To include the parking lot across the street as well as the event, or.
We
is
don't
there
have
an
an event, sure.
Oh.
There's no event this year.
Yeah.
as far as
Oh,
we know.
okay, all right,
We're having a, no.
okay,
They just park there so they can ride.
It's just, we
Okay.
plow
Yeah.
it, they park there, so.
okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, for the Evergreen Valley, SMC to, use the future site of the fire department for their parking in 2015-16 snowmobile season.
And supplies, certificate of insurance.
And supply the, certificate of insurance.
I will second that.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next, tax collector. She is asking for a motion to transfer funds from general account to E-Reg account. So this is in the amount of $2,422 you deposit in the general fund. It should go in the E-Reg fund.
Correct.
Need a motion?
Okay, so I will make. So you put the $2,422 in the general account, and it should have. The general.
Favor?
Aye.
All right. And where do I need to sign this? Or do I? There's no place for signature.
I don't know, anywhere, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. We have the 2010 internal audit. Again, we don't have a full board, so I'm going to ask we table that. sewer system. And what's this? Needs to transfer money.
It was the lagoon work that he did.
Yeah, oh, right,
in the
right.
spring, the tears and
Yep,
stuff on the
yep,
liner.
yep, yep.
So he hasn't got the work done yet.
The work's been done.
Just gotta transfer the money around.
And the bill has been paid out of the general fund, but it needs, these two motions, you know how we do the reimbursement thing, yeah.
So, okay. So, I'll make that motion to move to authorize the sewer department superintendent permission to proceed with the hiring of RTD Enterprise to conduct a significant repair work to the sewer system, specifically one of the sewer lagoons, as the scope of work is magnitude that is unable to be done by the superintendent of the town staff. Repair work includes mobilization, demobilization in the lagoon 2, technicians cleaning, solvent, repair, adhesive, hypalone adhesive at the cost of $5,680.75, and to be paid from this out of the general fund.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, second motion.
And then I will make a motion to move and authorize the reimbursement of $5,680.75 to the general fund out of the 1988 Sewer System Improvement Capital Reserve Fund.
Now, this is for the Milton Free Public Library. We were talking the amount of $4,575. This is for the vertical lift.
And I will make a motion to move to authorize the Public Works Director permission to proceed with the installation of the vertical lift platform by Nationwide Lifts at the Milton Free Public Library at the cost of $4,575 and to be paid out of the general fund.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
And then I will make another motion to move and authorize
Okay, sewer department abatement on 79 South Street. We have an abatement request in the amount of $115.50, and the cause for the abatement is due to an error in the Avatar utility billing. Sewer was turned on October 2015, should have only been charged for a 3-month bill instead of it was charged regular rate.
$0.15.
Motion.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Now, I'm going to go back just a second on this Primex 2010 audit. I really want to have a full board discuss that, but we're not going to full board. I think we need to move forward with it instead of keep pushing it forward. This is something we just can't keep pushing forward. addressed, whether we have,
No, I did look at it, but,
Okay.
I mean, I would hope to have Mike here too.
yeah, and I would like to have him here, but, I mean, if unfortunately he can't be here, I think we really need to move on it one way or another,
Mm-hmm.
because it just keep pushing it forward, and that's not fair to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, approval of minutes.
Okay,
October 29th, special meeting.
October 29th is the, is everything up?
Yep, looks good to me.
Okay, and I'll make a motion to approve the October 29th, 2015 minutes. That's it.
And I'll second. All in favor? Aye. I'll set these right here if you wanna,
Okay.
get them all at once or
Alright.
whatever. Previously sealed.
Approved as is.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
On the October 29th,
Next one's November 2nd.
November 2nd.
Yeah, we already did it.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
And the,
Regular meeting, November
regular
2nd.
meeting, November 2nd. Did that.
Yeah, I looked at it. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve these minutes. Said.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
And, the November 5th, 2015 special.
We get two non-publics November 2nd. Yeah.
And two non-publics. Okay, hold on one
I got them right here if you want.
Okay,
I looked at them. I didn't see anything that.
no, I've already looked at these. So, on the non. Second. Remain as approved as is.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
So now we're up to November 5th
We are.
for the special meeting.
Yep.
And are we all set? I'll
Yep.
make a motion to approve these minutes. That's it.
And they should be sealed, these are actually non-public minutes.
Special meeting?
Yep. And they were sealed previously, and they need to remain as is.
September 5th? November 5th, I mean?
Yep.
No, we're looking at two different sets of minutes.
November 5th, 2015 Board of Selectmen special meeting.
That's this one.
This is just like a load.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe this is the non-public session that occurred after the meeting. Maybe the one that I have is.
Okay, we don't have that one yet, so we'll have to bring that one. I don't want to see it now, so. Anyways, so you made a motion on this one?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second it. Yeah, please do.
And now we're up to the November 16th.
Actually, I do have that one, but we don't have it on the agenda. So we'll get that next meeting. All right, yep, 16th,
Yep. And make a motion to approve these.
regular meeting. I will second that. All in favor on those? Aye.
And now we're up to November 17th.
You want to?
On the November 16th, I'm going to indefinitely seal,
Previously sealed.
previously sealed, items 1 and 2, and release, 3 and 4.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And now we're up to November 17th. For
Use that day. And the next one is a meeting with the Budget Committee. Special meeting.
yes, on November 17th.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to.
I will second that. All in favor of that one? Aye.
November 20th, special meeting?
Yep.
You're all set.
November 20th, special meeting. This was the tax rating with the finance director. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we got one more on the 23rd.
23rd, a Board of Selectmen special meeting.
To discuss insurance benefits and default.
Is this
That clean. We're up to the expenditure report. Yeah, this wasn't on the agenda, so we'll do that. This is the fifth
Yep,
now.
I'll
Hold it.
take care of
Yeah,
that, yeah.
so get on the agenda for next week. All right, expenditure reports. Anything?
Mm-mm.
No, looks all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Administrative comments.
So the first item I have is, we are closed on December 25th, which is a Friday.
Right.
Would you like the town offices to close early the day before at
on that?
The next item I have is in regards to the press release on the tax rate, the new tax rate.
And you know my opinion on that.
I do, yes. So, in speaking with the finance director at the SAU office and also the superintendent at the SAU office, there were some concerns apparently expressed from, I guess, the school board. And, they asked if perhaps some additional information could be put into the press release, some information that I did not have access to, such as these highlighted areas that you see on the press release.
Okay.
Two items in particular, the amount of money that they turned in towards the tax rate at the end of the year, and also some federal grant revenues. And you had asked me to get the DRA
Right,
form
right.
that would show the fund balance amount,
Okay,
which is the MS 24R.
right. And,
Here's a
but
copy for you and a
Oh,
copy for
okay.
Andy.
the information that we put out there was based on that tax rate. Received offset a portion of that, 682,000, whatever it is,
Mhm.
then that's great. Maybe that $294,500 could be turned back in next year to help offset that tax rate. I mean, if they're raising here's what my concern, and I really wish they were here so we could ask them the question. If they are raising and appropriating that money in the budget, and then they're receiving grants to help offset that money, is that, they getting it twice? Are they getting it from the taxpayers and from the grants?
No, it's similar to the way the town does it. For instance, the road construction warrant article, by law, you must appropriate the full amount.
Correct.
And in that, which in our in the town situation, stuff here.
Yeah, like I said, I really wish they were here to answer those questions. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a little confusing that the money's being raised. And I understand what you're saying, I mean, but they're raising it in the budget. We're actually going out for a special warrant article or whatever. And,
Although we do also get, although that's not a grant, I was thinking of the Vermont Mills tax, but that's not a grant.
yeah. So, but I'm not in favor of amending the press release that was sent out in November.
Not even for the amount that they put from their fund balance towards, not even that portion?
No.
And, you know, I'm looking at transparency, you know, my problem is, why did they come up so late on the 294,500? I mean, why weren't we told prior? I mean, they had that figure.
Well, we wouldn't have necessarily been told. Those are, from their DRA forms, which are different from our.
For the tax rate set on. The 294,000, if I'm, reading Liz correctly, is similar to the block grant that, Pat gets, the fuel grant. We still have to raise and appropriate the $290,000, and that's taxable money, even though the money, you get a portion of it back. That's what it's on. So, I mean, the rate was set on 682,000.
So I told the superintendent
Yep.
I would bring this forward for your approval and, or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some other questions I have in here, with the size of their budget and only, 150,000, went back on the fund balance.
Right.
Well-
There's some other questions I have.
And those are great questions for the budget.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly, that's why I wish
Yeah.
someone was here.
So just so you know, at the end of the year, every year, whatever is left over in their budget, in their fund balance, the just so
I'm not in favor of amending it. Basically, we presented the information that was presented to us by DRA, and that's what we have to base our, I shouldn't say unfortunately, that's what we have to base our tax rate on, or they base our tax rate on, rather.
Well, you can get this information right off the school website, right? Or the town is it on the town website?
It's
It'd be
not
on
a-
school.
On the school website?
Information based on what we get.
Mm-hmm.
That $294,500, that's great. I'm very happy for them. I mean, but it doesn't affect the tax rate. Doesn't affect the rate we were given.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Tom,
Yes.
I guess I don't understand why it's being questioned, then if it's the tax rate and the DRA set those numbers, what's the problem? You put
Okay.
the facts out there.
Well, yeah, and well, I'll read you the addendum they wanted to add to it. And it says,
Because the tax rate to the money they're giving back. That's the way I'm
well,
looking
It
at
has been adjusted. The DRA would have done
I
that.
think
on
really
yeah,
their own.
it's already been adjusted as much
Right,
as.
so then what's the deal? We're putting the tax rate.
Well, I think what they want is, they want,
People
this,
to know.
this information to get out to
They should put
taxpayers.
it out there, right?
Newsletter out.
Right, yeah,
Yep.
that's why I said
I
they should
just
put it on
thought
their
that it was a very
website.
good press release
Mhm.
that showed the facts. And it was one of the first press releases that I've seen that the town's put out in all the years that I've been here.
Right.
That showed it so that people could look at it and understand exactly what was going on and where your money.
Town planner's contract. I think I'm
Right.
using his title incorrectly.
Yes,
Town.
yeah.
So he has emailed, a copy of it, and in today's mail, I received the original.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to prove this tonight if you wanna wait until the next meeting.
All right, let's do that.
He's not asking for any rate increases, everything is basically the same, it's a one-year contract, and it would expire, at the end of December.
Okay.
The next item I have is a draft of the town warrant.
Okay.
Draft only. And I can briefly go through it if you'd like.
It's a lot thinner than I remember.
Use a smaller font. So, Article 1 on the back of the cover will be updated by the
Right.
town clerk as we get closer to the
Right,
date.
right.
Article 2, well, they're not numbered, but if you
Yeah.
can follow along, is the annual budget. Number 3 is the fire station. I don't have a dollar amount from the fire chief yet for that.
Okay.
And what I did was like last year, I did the highest amount,
Right.
and tiered down through the warrant.
Right, right.
The next one would be the road construction of the annual 290. The
Right.
next one is 40,000 in the bridges account, which the public works director spoke to me briefly today about the board possibly lowering that amount. That's up to you. I had asked you.
How much we got in that account now?
I don't know.
$117,000.
Thank you. Okay.
Next one on the back side is from the 20,000 from the Public Works Director. This is the Capital Reserve Fund for library structural repairs with the selectmen as the agents to expend. And the next one is for 20,000 Capital Reserve Fund for the library, with the library trustees as the agents to expend.
Okay.
The next one is $20,000 for the Highway Department Truck Capital Reserve Fund. The next one is the proposed wage
Okay.
adjustment.
I need to back up on the truck.
Okay.
Is that for the
Pickups.
pickups? Okay, so it
I
does.
need to replace a pickup.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, is the wording the same it's always been as far as the trucks?
Yeah, I've bought trucks out of that
Yeah.
account before.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we didn't
Yeah.
change the wording without changing it.
No, it's for highway trucks.
Yep.
The next one is the 19,837, which is the proposed step plan at wage adjustment for the three departments that are very much underpaid: highway, solid waste, and government buildings.
Okay.
The next one is 13,703, which is for the comprehensive record retention program that the town clerk and tax collector brought forward. And she had mentioned to me last week of possibly being able to encumber the money in her budget if she has enough at the end of the year, but it's a little early to know that. But if
Okay.
that's the case, this could be zeroed out at town meeting.
Right, okay.
You know, if it stays in. It's good to have it at least one way or the other in case she doesn't have enough money. At least
Right,
you
no, I
have
agree,
it.
yeah, it's,
Yeah,
I'd rather be able, like you say, zero fund it out, rather than try to recreate it.
yeah. The next one is one of two warrant articles in regards to the the Milton Mills Cemetery
Okay.
on Appleby Road. As you're aware, the town is required by state law to have a cemetery, and
Right.
you lease it currently for
Correct.
$1 a year. And the Milton Mills trustees are willing to sell it to the town for $1, which is not in this warrant article. It was removed from this warrant article because the selectmen may use the option of RSA 4114A, which you've done twice this year already in regards to Silver Street and then up at exit 18, because the townspeople voted to, you know.
Give us the authority to do that.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So this first warrant article is to establish a capital reserve fund with the cemetery trustees as the agents to expend, and the Milton Mills Cemetery Association funds would go into that capital reserve fund. They will be dissolving if this is all approved, the Milton Mills Cemetery Association. The next warrant article.
Do you have a question? And I'm sure we've already asked this question, probably answered it.
Mhm.
Can we put monies into a capital reserve fund that way?
If the people vote yes on this, yes.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that it didn't come back to haunt us.
It has to go in a capital reserve fund by the law.
Yeah, no, I know it has to go into it, but my question was, could we take the other fund, the existing fund you have, and just transfer that money into the capital reserve fund, the newly established one?
The existing fund that Milton Mills has?
Yes,
Yes, that's what's gonna go, it's gonna go in a capital reserve.
right,
fund.
but I just wanna make sure we can do that without, getting in trouble, that's all.
No, I think we're okay, Tom, it's
Yeah.
within the law.
Good, that's all, I wanna make sure.
It specifies it very clearly, and I'll give you a copy of the law, it's an RSA 289, but I
Okay.
don't know what the colon is.
And then the bottom one on that page is to raise and appropriate $10,000 for operating expenses for the cemetery trustees for 2016. And then that will be reimbursed to the general fund from the capital reserve fund, whatever's used.
Mhm.
And then that last sentence, should this warrant article pass, operating expenses will be included in the operating budget annually beginning in 2017. So it'll
Okay.
just be a recurring
Right.
thing, kind of due from that we do now
Yep.
already with capital reserve funds.
Yep,
Next page, Recreation submitted a warrant article, $5,000 for for commercial seating for the playground and basketball court at the town beach. The next one is $500 for the townhouse capital reserve fund. The next one is not a money article. It is in regards to the solid waste ordinance, the current ordinance. So that ordinance is in some severe need of housekeeping.
Okay.
Updates. It's very outdated, a lot of incorrect information in there. So this particular warrant article would approve those amendments. Now, prior to it going to the voters, the selectmen will need to have a public hearing on the proposed changes, which I have copies here for you, and I can review them tonight if you want after you finish
All right.
with the warrant. And then the last one is was submitted by the Conservation Commission in regards to the Casey Road property, the proposed town forest property. So you don't have to approve any of these tonight, obviously, you're just getting this tonight. I can have it on the agenda for the next meeting, and I can ask whoever submitted these articles to be here to answer questions you may have.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get this
Yeah,
draft out there.
I'd like to. The last article, I have a question on it. I mean,
I don't know if I'm the best person.
no,
to answer.
I know that. I'm just saying, because that is the Casey Road where we have the town forest, and we established a town forest committee to give us some feedback. And it almost looks like now it's being trying to be circumvented by the Conservation Commission. I'm not saying it is, but what it looks like.
No, it is.
Okay.
They're just willing to help front some of the money.
Right, but we haven't got a report back from the
Committee.
committee yet.
So,
I mean, we need to get, I mean, this is getting a little ahead of itself, that we need to get a report back from the committee we established on what their feeling, or what their thoughts were for the property.
Well, and also, even backing up before that, the purpose of the committee needs to be established, you know, it's been mentioned as a town forest committee, it's been mentioned as maybe a land kind of a committee. You know, if it's gonna be a town forest committee, there's a certain RSA that applies, you can only have a certain number of members, they're already over that. You know, and they can only deal specifically with forestation and things of that nature, whereas if it's a land type of a use committee, they could, you know, create recreation trails or, you know, determine uses for the land, which would not be town forestation.
Yeah.
So that's gotta be done too, that's,
Yeah.
as you know, was brought up
Right, it
several
was,
meetings
it
back.
was.
And you as the appointing authority,
you think maybe
Are-
you could get, you know,
I think we need to have the Concom and the Town Forest Committee here,
yeah.
because we haven't received no information from the Town Forest Committee as far as what their intent was, or what they suggest. I can't even say what their intent, what they suggest for best use of that property. And now we're looking at something that wants to put in conservation easement before we even get that, so that's, and I'm not opposed to the conservation easement, please, no one take that the wrong way, I just,
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
important
yeah,
to
well,
move forward with the project.
not necessarily. What if they decide the project is best used for something else? The committee, and they bring it to us and it made sense.
and in
So-
that case, they
Yeah,
would
but
not be
they-
a town forest committee, they would be
Yeah.
more of a land use
Yeah.
kind
But
of
they
a
hold the
committee.
liability though. That,
The conservation,
yeah.
right. But right now, it hasn't gotten to that point. I mean, because the Town Forest Committee is supposed to give us, you know, suggestions, ideas, what their thoughts were, this, you know, and it may very well come to this. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Well, unfortunately, they just don't have the revenue to move forward, and that's why the conservation, cause I am the selectmen's rep on that.
Right,
And,
right.
that's why, you know, the conservation, you know, stuff, this plate, and, you know, wants to help this project to move it forward. That's why they were doing this. But it wouldn't hurt to get,
Yeah,
everybody back in.
Yeah,
here
we
just
need to
so
have them
we
back
can-
in here so we can get some report of some sort.
I'll have Dana send something out to both committees
Yep.
about the next meeting, because really, time is of the essence.
Yeah, it is.
And you've only got maybe two more meetings to, approve and make your recommendations, and then it has to go to the budget committee for their recommendations, and then the public hearing.
I only have one other question, and maybe Andy can answer that one, because you're also on the Recreation Committee. On the commercial seating, I'm assuming that's for spectators?
Hmm.
So I'm just wondering if the word commercial should be changed to something else? Spectator seating, or what have you?
Well, I mean, I think the whole idea was to get something that was gonna last down there. I mean, that
Okay.
playground has been heavily used.
Yep.
And, I think it warrants I mean, people go down there and they really have no place to sit.
No, I agree, no, I agree with the concept, I'm just wondering if commercial seating is confusing. That's all.
Larry,
Did-
you sigh of
That-
over there.
Yep.
Stadium grade?
No, but I mean, something that's gonna, if this is approved or not, something that's gonna last, more than, not a Walmart bench.
Find the standards, Hussey, find the standard they use for high school bleachers. Ask the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
The,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Karen has all kinds of reps.
And I agree with what this is saying. I'm just thinking the word commercial, when it goes to ballot, somebody's gonna read commercial seating and it's gonna confuse them. And they're not gonna understand it and they're gonna say no.
It's something we can.
Yeah, so I mean,
Bring up to Karen.
the whole article, I think I agree with it. It's just that one word, it just kind of, when I first read it, commercial seating, kind of threw me.
It would just be nice to be able to sit down
Yep.
there and
Yep.
while your children play.
So maybe we just
But
wanna, if you wanna just talk to
the
them.
warrant article, if it passes, it passes. It's
Yeah.
just,
I'm just saying that one word, I think maybe we ought to look at. Just my opinion. Okay, anything else? Yeah, you said you go stack them.
Yes, I do. Okay, I'm looking for and okay, so anything that's highlighted is a change. And
Okay.
there are no major changes, these are basically housekeeping changes throughout. You'll see on page 2, section 10, that entire section will be removed. It's the recycling committee, which was disbanded years ago, apparently,
Oh,
which will renumber the
Mhm.
index. Page 3, last paragraph, some minor RSA adjustments.
okay.
Remove the ampersand, put in the word and, here and there. Page 4, section 1.01, top line, adjust the RSA number. Section 1.02, remove the word landfill and replace it with solid waste facility and mandatory recycling. 'Cause that's the proper name. We don't have a landfill anymore.
No, we don't.
Section 2, small letter C, change those capital letters to small letters.
Right.
And the last line of that is to put in the correct address of the
Yep.
transfer station. Instead of off Route 125, it should be 803 White Mountain Highway,
Sure.
Milton. See what I mean by housekeeping
Yeah.
things? Page 5, up near the top, letter I, remove that section. They don't take
No, we
sewer
don't.
there, so
Correct.
that needs to come out. Page 5, down at the bottom, that entire section, and it goes over to the next page, removed, because that's not done.
No, you're right.
There's nothing on page 7 to change. Page 8, section 8.01, change that to fee schedule. On the first line there, on the next to the last line, take out the word landfill and put in the words transfer station.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the fee schedule itself, remove that top line, fees subject to change without notice, because that is not true. You must give notice to the residents, as you do with a public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then halfway down, remove that one bullet item. And then down the page further, section 802.
Okay, why are we taking washer, dryer, and stove, et cetera, out?
It's metal.
For
Oh,
a fee, was it a fee?
Yeah,
yeah.
metal?
It's because it's white metal,
Okay, all right.
and it's a revenue.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Section 802, fee schedule amendments, remove that first sentence where the fees may be paid, and add in for a fee schedule amendment that the Board of Selectmen, the governing body, has the authority to approve the changes in the fee schedule in accordance with RSA 41-9A.
Okay.
Section 902, adjust the RSA slightly. Page 9, capitalize, let me see, section 9.03, the highlighted section, capitalize the words solid waste facility.
Okay.
Section 10, remove the entire section, because that's the
Recycling committee.
recycling committee,
Yep.
which is no longer in effect. Section 12, that has to do with amending the ordinance. So there's two things in the ordinance itself and the fee schedule.
Mhm.
The ordinance itself has to go to town meeting for a vote to change it, however, the fee schedule has to go to the selectmen.
Okay.
I added that sentence in there about fee schedule. And then on the last page, I added the words as the governing body. I took out that old date, and then the names would be updated for signature.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff that needs,
No, I'm just looking at the names on here.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a,
1992.
yeah, we got Joan Tasker Ball, Doug Shute, Timothy Corbett, Mary Kibbe, and Bill Canny. Wow.
So these are the changes that are proposed for this ordinance, so
Okay.
if you're okay
Yeah,
with
let's
these-
schedule a public hearing.
Okay, perfect. And that is all I have.
Okay.
You saw it, Pat, you saw this?
Oh, yes, we,
Okay.
he
you
and
guys- okay.
Sean and myself
Yep.
have been working
Okay,
since
hang
the
on.
spring on this.
Okay, oh, awesome.
All right, selectmen comments. Andy?
Okay, I just have a couple of things. The first thing I have, is I'd like to start a senior well check program in town, for the seniors. And, you know, I've been hashing around some ideas, and this is preliminary, but I do wanna, hopefully get something, in effect before winter.
Molten Borough has that in effect. I actually got a copy of theirs, gave it to Chief Kraus back a couple of years ago. And it's not a bad idea. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Chief McGowan did have something in place a couple of years ago, so maybe there's.
Yeah, I think
still-
that's kind of what Chief Kraus was saying. They had something, not a formal form, but they had something that would be.
Well, I'd like to get something formal. I have some of my own ideas, for the seniors. And I'd like to try to go through the high school. I was actually talking to Karen Brown about this a little bit today, and she came up with a couple of good ideas. And to let the seniors for National Honor Society, they have to have so many hours of community service, and they could actually check on seniors. You know, it's a phone call.
Right.
And if the
Like-
senior don't, first the senior would sign up for, you know, this program if they wanna, you know, participate. And if they wanna do that, then the school could, you know, the seniors, like I have to, you know, there's a lot to this.
Right,
You know, to get
there
it
is.
going, but, and then if they wanna, you know, participate, then the senior would call or whoever, whatever, high school student, I guess it's 9th through 12th, that are on the National Honor Society. And they could call the senior, and if there's no answer, then they could, you know, call the police station and do a wellness check. But I think that's something that, you know, we should have in effect,
Yep.
because, you know, they need you know,
They're looking after.
an extra
They do,
help,
they
you
do.
know,
Absolutely, I
winter,
agree.
more so, but all the time, of course. So I will look into.
All right, yeah, if you want to
further,
explore that further, that's great.
And so we can hopefully get something going here soon. And the only other thing I have is, it's that time of year, and the town is doing the holiday gift drive for the welfare department is. And if anybody is interested in donating a gift, to call Rachel at the welfare department, and I guess it's from ages 1 to 17. So if
Yeah.
anybody's interested in doing something like that, they could
Yeah.
give Rachel at the welfare.
Yeah,
office.
actually, that's a good lead into what I was gonna talk about, that same thing, they are ages 1 to 17, but ages 13 through 17, they have the most trouble with, as far as finding somebody to support those. So, not that I wanna exclude the others, but 13 through 17 is most difficult, so.
So if anybody's interested in,
I would also like to know if maybe the board would like to pool some monies together for something for that,
whatever,
or
Just,
to get a few things for that.
we'll do whatever.
Okay. Maybe if you could shoot an email off to Mike or something, letting him know. And,
And that's really all I have tonight.
okay. Actually, that's the only thing I had was that Christmas thing there, and that's it. That's it. Public comments. Mr. Smith.
I'd just like to thank the Board of Selectmen for stepping to the plate with the pay down of the tax rate. Dropped it 9 cents from last year. It's appreciated. I thank you very much for that.
Thank you. You're welcome. We're very glad we were able to do it. Anyone else? Mr. Catwick?
Yeah, I agree with that statement Pat just said. I've been talking to several people since they received the tax bills, and I had spent all the time I could with them explaining to them really what it meant. For some reason or other, they didn't see that bulletin. Sometimes I think it would be nice to somehow make sure they got it, even though it's available on the website and everywhere, but after talking to them, I think they understood it clearer. And I emphasize on that, thank you that you just got on, taking from the general fund $500,000 and going towards the taxes and carrying over $1 million. I have to say thank you too.
Thank you, John.
The next item. $750 or
Correct.
whatever it was, so I'm just keeping you updated, that's moving forward.
All right, good.
And I want to thank Liz Dion for working with me on this transaction, helping me tremendously by working between other towns. Our town lawyer has helped me unbelievable, because I've learned so much with the other towns, as well as her information on something like even today, that we can move forward with this without any interruption at the voting booth, so that's great news for me. Thank you.
That reminds me, just so you know, the RSA 4114A for the cemetery up there,
Yep.
we cannot start that process until the warrant articles are approved.
All right, right. So, yeah, thank you, John. I mean, there's,
So we're moving ahead on that, and as you all know, that we probably won't be doing any transferring of funds until into late 2016, and
right,
they'll be on the way from there.
awesome. Good.
One other quick thing is, you're all aware of that there's 25,000 in a capital reserve fund. and that's where the 7,500 comes out of.
Yep.
And I'll be approaching it probably within the next 6 to 8 months to withdraw some more for capital expenditures in that cemetery.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, John. Anyone else? Mr. Brown?
That, I think, three things, Larry Brown. First, there's an old proverb that says, "A man who has two masters works for himself." And I'm still interested in a time and task assessment of those actual things the part-time planner has done for the town that can be trackable and have a stated outcome. Haven't seen it. The second one is, again, what Pat and John have already said, with a slightly different spin, and that is more punch to the press release, which along the lines of Milton selectmen push to lower tax rate and in fighting DRA for best town services. And the other paragraph would be, by the end of 2016, the town expects to have reduced its tax load by such and such in grant funding coming to the town. And the third one is just that the Conservation Commission is the financial structure and has the financial is the agency structure and the financial resources to be a conduit for land use assessments and technical analyses. And that gets out from under the are they poaching on the forest committees.
Well, I wasn't suggesting that, I just didn't know if we were putting one before the other, that's all.
I think.
And that's all they're trying to do.
Yeah, whoever's
Yeah.
got the money,
Exactly.
which again, has just been if people listen to this and see where the detailed discussion, the work, the absolute costs of government that the town cannot escape, some of the Facebook bickering just might end.
It'd be nice,
I think that's an optimistic view, but.
it'd be nice, that's all I'm gonna say.
They're all working together as a team.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, Liz, did you get a letter from my department for the thank you for everyone who helped out?
I did. Would you like me to read it? Okay.
Yes, please.
Do you
Didn't
know I'm
I didn't.
supposed to read it? Sorry. Here it is. It's dated December 3rd to the Board of Selectmen, reference letter of appreciation. Gentlemen, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the following individuals who assisted in the success of getting the December tax bills out in record time. Brian Boyers, Code Enforcement Department; Rachel Cody, Welfare Department; Norma Coro, Town Clerk Tax Collectors Department; Elizabeth Dion, Town Administrator; Kim Ladishef, Finance Department; Noreen Nason, Police Department; Dana Smith, Land Use Department; Josh, Byron, Dennis Doobie, and Nick Marique, Fire Department; Michael Bolio and Andrew Rawson, Board of Selectmen. This task could not have been accomplished as quickly and efficiently as it happened without this concerted team effort, and I greatly appreciate their willingness to assist my department. Sincerely, Michelle Beauchamp, Town Clerk Tax Collector.
Thank you, Michelle.
Just
Thank
a great team.
Good, but there's a great bunch of people that work here, really is, all across the board. Anyone else? Becky, you're the only one who hasn't said anything.
You all are doing a wonderful job. Thank you for your volunteerism. How about that?
That works for me. Thank you, Becky.
Thank
Okay,
you.
how about you, Pam?
Nothing.
All right. And I'm gonna close public comments and any other business.
No,
Motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Good meeting.